原発反対。Thank you very much for joining the 9th every 11th of a month anti-nuclear plant rally。今日は皆さん忙しいところ、また第9回の毎月11日原発反対集会に参加してくださってありがとうございます。日本語から始め、先月の11日に福島第一原発事故の2周年目を記念しました。それから先月11日から今日の11日までに実にたくさんの事故が次々と福島の第一原発の敷地内でありました。その一つは3月18日の停電事故です。この事故によってプール放射のフュエルのあるプールが冷やすことができなくなった冷却停止事故です。このために、134号機の使用済み燃料プール代替冷却システムなどが停止した。それから燃料が6377体もある共同プールの冷却も停止。放射性物質を含む汚染水を処理する装置や3号機の格納容器ガス管理システムの一部も停止。ところがこれがもしこの停電が直されなかった場合、4、5日で、特に第4号機の水が上限に上って大変なことが起こりうる可能性がありました。And then東電は3時間これに対して公表しなかったということです。So the last month was will be it is second anniversary since the Fukushima nuclear plant accident happened, and then the last month 11th through today there were so many accidents in the Fukushima plant. The first of all is March 18th, TEPCO announced that outage so that they couldn't cool down the water in the pool which contained the fuel to the right temperature. If this outage had not been fixed in 4 to 5 days, there would be huge catastrophe because you know the plant unit 4. There would be tremendous tragedy that entire people in Tokyo even have to be evacuated. And TEPCO even didn't announce this outage until 3 hours later, so that the people in community of this nuclear plant, they got the news through the TV or radio, not directly from TEPCO. This is outrageous. This is still same body they had before March 11th accident that they hide. They didn't disclose the fact and truth. Same as the government. Government didn't provide the right information that's why the people could refused to the different places which even higher radiation level. And then the next one is from the April came to this month. There was the leakage from the contaminated water pool. Those pools are amazingly made January this year. It's just made brand new ones. And I don't know how long the water just pumped in there. It's already discovered the leakage. And one pool to next pool, people are transferred the water. That pool itself, the second pool itself, they discovered the leakage. So there are 7 pools. They are same constructions. They are not the steel container or anything. They are just 3 layers of vinyl or plastic or whatever, those type of sheeting. These, I think, that result of the, of course, mistake of the blueprint, but in a hurry job. People really cannot work around there because it's a high radiation level, and then we have to do so many things in hurry. This is a result of also human error. Same as outage. Finally, they found the burned rats in the panel of the electricity board, and then the rat was blamed, but that's not really right. This is also human's error. Whoever designed and installed everything, it is human error. So as long as a human operates the nuclear plant, errors are just occurring on and on. And recently, the ex-regulator, I think U.S. Regulator said reactors are flawed. So all 104 nuclear power reactors in this country, in the USA, they have safety problems that cannot be fixed. And then he supports phasing them out rather than trying to extend their lives. Nuclear plants' life is usually 40 years, and then the people are extending the life and then patching and then fixing all sorts of problems. But it really shouldn't do that. This is an ex-regulator. He resigned, I think, last summer, and recently just told. He didn't tell this while he was in committee. He learned from Fukushima, and then after containing accident work through the Fukushima, this job, he really felt that nuclear power has to be phased out. And he said about this, continuing to put Band-Aid on Band-Aid is not going to fix the problem. So this outage and leakage, this is a really Band-Aid work. Japan has to really change the attitude. Let's forget about the nuclear plant. Then we have to really focus for the renewable energy. Japan is standing on the volcanic island. There are so many natural resources. And then taiyo energy, solar energy, hydroelectricity, wind power, tidal power, waveform, and marine current power, and geothermal power, biofuel power, and then look, geothermal energy, which we are standing, and then resources are all over. we really have to develop this. It already has been developing successfully. We should really focus this geothermal power. Japan has plenty of resource. We are surrounded by ocean, so why not? Tidal power, wave farm, marine current power. Instead of putting so much money to restart next nuclear plant, and instead of constructing a new power plant, those money should go into to create this renewable new energy. And then I really want people look at people in Fukushima. They are still suffering. The previous government, Noda, said 2011 December that Fukushima accident has been contained. No, this is not really true. Look at this accident, the outage came, and then the leakage came, and then still so many units are in fragile condition. How we could say that? Fukushima accident is not contained. The government fooled the people so that the people can focus their own lives, entertain own lives. People don't want to focus people in Fukushima. But please, people, understand that Fukushima people are still suffering, exposed still radiation every day, especially the children, very susceptible for the radiation. So many kids are still there. And then government and TEPCO, those are just abandoned those people. They let them continue to expose to the radiation. The idea is there is no immediate health risk. But look, the kids, many kids start to have the cyst in their thyroid. Some kids have thyroid are ignored because their cysts are too small for them, for the government, so that they are ignored for 2 more years. We cannot wait till the disease develops worse. We really need to give a hand right now. So I really support people group who working for the relocate many children, school grade children, to the safer location. I hope this happened really truly. And then we are now California. We are standing in here, California. We really cannot ignore the same problem in California too. There are 2 nuclear plants in California. One is Onofre nuclear plant have so much problems. Now it's stopping, but the electric company asking for the restart pretty soon. They are asking 70% of capacity because they think 100% capacity is too much risk. Then why they can do in the 70% if it's not the safe? Even any percentage shouldn't start. But we really have to carefully watch this because it's like an oil in Japan. Who knows? If we really don't watch and then we don't carefully oppose this, the San Onofre might be restarted. So we really have to watch out. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So we're here today on the 11th of April to speak out against the restarting the nuclear plants in Japan. The government of Japan and TEPCO say that they're taking care of the problem. In fact, in today's New York Times, there's a long article about the fact that they're not taking care of the problem. That the water tanks that contain thousands of gallons radioactive water are leaking today in Japan, and they're going into the ocean. It was also reported in the New York Times that they didn't have proper lining, plastic lining in these tanks, so the tanks were leaking. Now, why didn't they have proper lining in the tanks that was holding the radioactive water? They were trying to save money. That's what they were doing. So while they're paying contractors in Fukushima to say that Fukushima can be decontaminated, they're refusing to spend enough money to properly take care of the radioactive water that has been released by the continuing meltdown that's going on at the plant. These plants are continuing to melt down. They're continuing to contaminate and bring radiation. Another very important issue is the workers in Japan who are taking care of the plants. The Japanese government has basically nationalized TEPCO. It's run by the Japanese government. They're allowing private contractors to subcontract and then subcontract again labor. The workers in these plants, some of them only end up with $10 a day after working all day in a nuclear plant in a cleanup. What kind of operation is this that the government of Japan is doing? That they're allowing workers to become contaminated, they don't pay them properly, and these workers themselves are getting sick, stressed out, and having very serious health problems, these nuclear plant workers. We're saying that, in fact, you cannot restart these plants. There are 50 additional plants. The United States government is saying that these plants should be restarted. They're saying that the plants in the United States are safe, the nuclear plants. The fact of the matter is we know that nuclear whistleblowers in the United States have been retaliated against for speaking out against health and safety problems at the nuclear plants in the United States. Now, if you cannot protect the health and safety inspectors at nuclear plants, how are you going to protect these plants from the workers, for the workers and the community? This is really an outrage, and unfortunately in Japan now, and in the United States, but in Japan, the government of Japan is engaged in repression against anti-nuclear activists. Anti-nuclear activists in Japan have been arrested, they've been harassed by the police, and arrested, in fact, for going through a railroad station. Professor Shimizu was arrested when going through a railroad station, handing out flyers. Why is the government so afraid of people who are putting out information about the danger of these nuclear plants and also the burning of nuclear refuse that is being done by the prefectures of Japan? We're saying that the reason the government is afraid is they don't want people to think about what's going on. They don't want them to understand that this radioactive contamination is continuing and that people are getting sicker in Japan as a result of the radioactive contamination. The fact of the matter is that the children of Japan, the children in Fukushima are getting sick, they're getting thyroid cysts, and they're being told, don't worry, you don't have to worry about cancer. Well, in fact, children of Fukushima, children in the world do have to worry about cancer. They're particularly susceptible to cancer, young children. And yet, the government is saying that these children can stay in Fukushima, that Fukushima can be decontaminated. The idea that Fukushima can be decontaminated is put out by the nuclear industry, it's put out by TEPCO, it's put out by the United States government and the Obama administration. It's put out by the International Atomic Energy Agency, which says that these plants can be decontaminated. Now, we're saying there is an energy emergency. There's an energy emergency, and in fact, the United States and Japan and the rest of the world have to have alternative energy. They need to have an emergency solar program to provide energy. And we have a document from the Southern California Edison, which reports that, in fact, that the utility industry is worried about this problem, because they're saying if solar energy and alternative energies take place, it'll disrupt the energy industry. Maybe I'll hold off until the noise goes down a little bit. Anyway, they're worried about disrupting their profits. The energy industry, the utilities are worried about disrupting their profits. They're not worried about solar energy. They're worried about their profits are going to be affected by alternative energy. That's really what's going on in Japan and in the United States at San Onofre and Diablo Canyon. And we're saying we have to develop these solar energies, we have to have alternative energies, and we have to shut these nuclear plants down as a matter of survival for the people of Japan and the people of California and the people of the world. And we will continue to speak out, we'll continue to organize, and get our voices out as best we can through the internet and other places to educate people about the dangers of nuclear power. Stop the nuclear plants now. No more Fukushimas. Stop the nuclear plants now. No more Fukushima. Stop the nuke 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 plants now. No more Fukushimas. Stop the nuke plants now. No more Fukushimas. Stop the nuke plants now. No more Fukushima. Stop the nuke plants now. No more Fukushimas. Stop the nuke plants now. No more Fukushimas. Stop the nuke plants now. No more Fukushimas. Stop the nuke plant now. No more Fukushimas. Stop the nuke plants 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 now. No more Fukushima. Stop the nuke plants now. No more Fukushimas. Stop the nuke plants now. No more Fukushima. Stop the nuke plants now. No more Fukushimas. Stop the nuke plants now. No more Fukushimas. Now, the other issues that we're going to be addressing is that, in fact, our senators and our congresspeople and assemblymen have to take a stand. And we're going to have a presentation now on a letter that we've drafted in order to call for them to take a stand. Welcome, Dan.
So this is a letter. It's addressed to your member of Congress. My member of Congress is Barbara Lee. But I do believe that people like that need to address this issue and be public about it. Dear Congresswoman Lee, I am writing to you in order to know your positions on several issues related to nuclear power and the policy issues which affect it. I am a constituent who is gravely concerned about radioactive fallout from the Fukushima disaster, both in Japan and in the United States, as well as about the continued operation of nuclear reactors in California. Your statements on these issues can have a positive influence on the public discussion about how to go forward. Here are my questions. Do you support the current U.S. administration's active lobbying of the Japanese government to restart Japanese reactors, which were shut down in the wake of the Fukushima meltdown in 2011? Presently, a substantial majority of people in Japan oppose restarting these reactors. Do you support the current U.S. administration's providing loan guarantees, which are essentially taxpayer subsidies for the startup and construction of new nuclear reactors in Georgia and South Carolina? Do you support the permanent closure of San Onofre nuclear power plant, which has a long and documented history of cost overruns and faulty system repair, disregard for safety of the surrounding community, and whose management has actively retaliated against whistleblowers who attempted to expose unsafe conditions? Given the horrific lessons of Fukushima, which is like the Diablo Canyon reactor, built above the sea and upon multiple earthquake faults, do you support the closure of Diablo Canyon? These issues are critical to our common future, and all of us need to think them through. I know you take your office of public trust seriously, and hope to hear these answers to these questions soon. Sincerely yours. Our letter was signed by the Circle of Concern Vigil in Berkeley, an anti-nuclear vigil against the university's management of nuclear weapons labs.
That's right.
So I have blank letters with the member of Congress blank if you want to send it to Nancy Pelosi or any of the other worthies in the neighborhood. Just come and get one and you can address it and send it.
Thank you. Thank you. These representatives are supposed to represent us, and actually the people of California are against nuclear power as well. The people of California voted that there shall be no more nuclear power plants and unless they had a place to store the nuclear rods, the used nuclear rods. That is why there aren't 30 or 40 nuclear power plants in California, because the nuclear industry, the utility industry, wanted to build a lot more nuclear power plants in California. But they were prevented from doing that because there's no place to store the used nuclear rods. Now, what's happened in the United States, all over the country, and there are 104 nuclear plants in the United States, is you have all these used nuclear waste rods. And they're dangerous. There are these nuclear power plants, and they're sitting there waiting for an accident to happen. These nuclear waste rods are dangerous. They get overheated, and they boil, and they can create a nuclear explosion. What you had in Fukushima was a dirty bomb. 3 dirty bombs going off. 3 nuclear explosions. Dirty bombs went off in Fukushima. And in fact, the government of Japan and TEPCO have still not solved Fukushima. They say it's all over, but why 2 years after the fact is it still leaking radioactive water? Why 2 years after the fact are people still getting radiated and contaminated in Fukushima? Why after the fact are cysts, thyroid cysts growing in the children of Fukushima? The reason is because the contamination continues. The reason is there is no solution to nuclear power plants. Even nuclear power plants that are closed give off radiation. Nuclear power plants in the United States that have been closed are still contaminating communities. There's leakage of radioactive material in the waterways in the United States and in Japan. These nuclear power plants are dangerous and they need to be closed down. We need to demand that there be alternative energy. And it's no accident that Southern California Edison, which runs San Onofre, wrote a document saying that it would be disruptive if you had solar energy. It would be disruptive if you had alternative energy to their profits. And we know it would be disruptive. And that's why we, No Nukes Action Committee, is calling for public power. We're saying that the power industry and the energy industry should not be in the hands of private companies like Southern California Edison and PG&E, Pacific Gas and Electric, are only interested in selling more electricity, are only interested in selling more gas, and they're not interested in the protection of the workers and protection of the community. In fact, Pacific Gas and Electric Company has retaliated against workers at San Bruno, where the gas line blew up. Workers who were whistleblowers said there were problems, and these workers were fired and disciplined. At Diablo Canyon, workers are afraid to speak out for fear of being blackballed and losing their jobs. At San Onofre, many workers who've been whistleblowers have been retaliated against, have been fired, and we had a conference last month, in fact, or actually in March, in which we learned 2 whistleblowers, one, Breidenbaugh, his name is, was reported on the fact that he had been disciplined by General Electric because he reported that there were engineering problems at the plant. And he was an engineer who believed in nuclear power. Another, Kei Sugaoka, was an engineer, was an inspector who reported the health and safety problems at the Fukushima power plant. What happened to him? He was retaliated against, he was blacklisted, he was prevented from doing his job. Now this is what's going on in the nuclear industry. They retaliate against whistleblowers in the plants, and they also try to keep the newspapers from covering this story of the danger and continuing contamination of these nuclear plants. Most people are unaware that Fukushima is still in a dangerous situation. Most people are unaware that the radioactive water is leaking and that it's contaminating the ground of Fukushima. Most people are unaware that the United States government is saying that they can decontaminate Fukushima, that you can decontaminate a plant like Chernobyl and people can live there. Well, this is not true. You cannot decontaminate Fukushima. Fukushima is contaminated and will be contaminated for hundreds and possibly thousands of years. And what is going to happen to the people of Fukushima? There is going to be a cancer epidemic. You're going to have thousands and tens of thousands of people get cancer in Fukushima. And the government knows this. That's why they're not reporting the statistics of thyroid cysts. That's why they're not reporting the dangers to the children. They don't want people to know. And during the meltdown, when there were nuclear plumes over Fukushima that contaminated not only the people of Fukushima, but U.S. military personnel in Japan who were there, they didn't let people know where the plumes were. There were mothers who actually took their children into plumes because they were not informed that where these plumes were. Now, why would any government, the American government, which has done the same in the case of the downwinders in Nevada, but why would any government not tell its people that there are nuclear plumes in the air and to avoid them? The reason is they did not want to panic the people of Japan. They didn't want to tell them the truth that this contamination, the meltdown, was threatening the health and safety of the people of Japan. They didn't want to tell them that because then people would have said, we cannot allow these plants to reopen. We cannot have any more nuclear power plants in Japan operating. Now, even if you close a nuclear power plant, even if a nuclear power plant is closed, it doesn't mean it's safe. You still need the workers there to protect that plant, because you can have meltdowns even with a closed nuclear power plant, because you have waste nuclear rods that are in that plant. So in the case of San Onofre, what is the government doing? Or what is Southern California Edison is doing? What Southern California Edison is doing is saying that they can lay off 50% of the workers there and reopen the plant. Now, we know that that's not the case. We know that they need the workers. Why would they want to lay off 50% of the workers and reopen the plant? Well, the consulate official is here and is going to speak to us, and we're going to present him with a statement. So, okay. So the consulate official is here, and we're going to present him with a petition and let him know that people, American people, Japanese people, and others are concerned and want the plants not restarted. So.
今日もありがとうございます。本当にいつも毎回ここまで降りてきてくださって感謝してます。今日は和美さんに書き上げた嘆願書を読み上げていただきます。
原子炉廃炉への嘆願書。日本国総理大臣安倍首相殿。原発は絶対安全だと言われ続けてきました。私は福島で生まれ育ち、原発に対する不安は多少はありましたが、安全だというのだから安全なのだろうと無関心でした。福島のほとんどの人がそうだったと思います。しかし、あの日からそれは変わりました。テレビ画面で見た音のない不気味な3度の爆発、そして枝野官房長官が青色の作業着姿で安全です、直ちに人体健康に害はありませんと繰り返し、原子力安全保安院のスポークスマンは意味のない状況説明を続け、当の東京電力経営陣はぐずぐずとなかなかテレビ画面にも出てこない。一番知りたい放射能汚染情報が何も出てこない。何よりも一番に守らなければならないはずの住民の安全と命はおざなり、その無責任な対応に驚き、不安になり、そして不審に思いました。そして原発とは安全どころか危険極まりないものでした。日本に 2度も落とされた原子力爆弾に他ならないもの、そしてそれが平和利用という皮をかぶっていつの間にか54基もこの地震国日本に建ててしまったこと。原発からは事故が起きずともさまざまな放射性物質が大気中に海洋に垂れ流され続けるということ、そしてその放射能半減期でさえ何万年という気の遠くなる時の長さであり、未来永劫放射線を出し続け、我々の子孫も被爆し続けなければならないこと。危険極まりない原発の立地には福島のような過疎の地が選ばれ、巨額の原発交付金と引き換えに建設され続けてきたこと、電力会社が生み出した総括原価方式という原発を作れば作るほど電力会社が儲かる経費を電気料金に上乗せして消費者から徴収するというまるで詐欺のような収益システム。原発労働者という高線量の被爆をしながら現場で働き死んでゆく闇に隠された人たち、そういう人たちの犠牲が なければ成り立たない原発、たまるばかりでどこにも行きどころのない核廃棄物、原発を続ければこの放射性廃棄物で地球が覆い尽くされてしまいます。そんな地球に住みたいと誰が思いますか？あなたの子供、あなたの子供や孫に安心して健康に住んでゆける環境を残したいとは思いませんか？原子炉を稼働し続けるということは我々人類を滅亡させるということです。原子力は我々には使いこなすことはできません。この3度目の被爆を最後にしましょう。原子力発電が間違ったこと、してはいけなかったことと分かった今、それをやめる勇気を持ちましょう。日本国こそ先頭に立って原子力発電を根絶していく国になりましょう。2013年4月11日、福島からサンフランシスコへの避難者、カリフォルニアベイエリア住民およびノーニュークスアクションコミュニティ、では恐れ入りますけど、
今お預かりしましたこの手紙に関しましては確実に東京こちらの方からですね外務省の方に報告するようにいたします。お約束的なその部分だけなんですけれども皆さんのお気持ちがこの中に載っていると思いますのでそれを確実に届けるようにいたします。
ありがとうございます。お願いします。
ありがとうございました。どうもありがとうございました。また来月もよろしくお願いします。原発反対。
原発反対。
All the nukes shut down.
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 原発反対。
原発反対。
All the nukes shut down.
All the nukes shut down.
原発反対。
原発反対。
All the nukes shut down.
All the nukes shut down.
福島ネバーゲン。
福島 never again.
福島ネバーゲン。
福島 never again.
広島ネバーゲン。
広島 never again.
長崎ネバーゲン。
長崎 never again.
福島ネバーゲン。
福島 never again.
福島ネバーゲン。
福島 never again.
All the nukes shut down.
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 原発いらない。
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 All the nukes shut down.
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 もうさっき私が一番初めに話した中で忘れたことが一つありました。それは汚水洗 これに関してですが、これは東電がブループリントを原子力強制委員会に見せたそうです。それで一応号が出たので、この貯水プールを作ったわけですが、今年の1月に完成した時に規制委は検察に来なかったそうです。それでも貯水が始まったわけです。これを見ますと、いかに規制委員会というものがまたずさんであるかということが分かります。今、原子力規制委員会は多分これからの再稼働される原発に対しての安全性、それから今建設されている原発の安全性を重視するために、この福島第一原発での収束作業に関して目が離れているという事実に他ありません。今こそ日本とTEPCOは収束に力を入れなければいけない時だと思います。福島にいる人々を再びこのように恐怖のどん底に落とし、不安の毎日を送らせることがあってはならないと思います。I forgot to mention that one thing before, that the leakage of the seven pools in the Fukushima Daiichi plant, the TEPCO showed blueprint to the regulatory committee. Then, by blueprint, I think regulatory committee approved. But this January, when the entire pool constructed and finished, the committee didn't come to check it. Such a terrible, amazing things that I think that the regulatory committee is really focusing the safety of the restart nuclear plant, and in the future many plants are going to restart those safety, and then the new constructing plant safety, they are focusing so that they really cannot put the ion to the containing work of Fukushima Daiichi plant. This is not the right attitude. Now is the time, really. Actually, 2 years it has been passed, but now, please, the government, TEPCO is not capable to contain this accident. Government really should step up further and put more energy and money, whatever, have to really contain to make safe a place soon as possible. And then it is outrageous to think that restart one nuclear plant and then constructing a new plant, those are not acceptable. And then one thing that I really puzzled the Japanese people's mind, that people out of Fukushima, I guess, don't want to really face the fact that the suffering of Fukushima people, they really don't want to see it. They are too busy to operate their daily lives, and then very busy to entertain their daily lives. But please do not forget the people in Fukushima. They are still suffering. We really cannot abandon them. We have to keep them safer place. Please wake up, people in Japan especially, and help people in Fukushima. 福島事故は未だに終わっていません。ですから私は皆さんにも立ち上がっていただきたいです。も もし少しでもこのアクシデントの事故の大変さ、見ごたらしさ、そして原発の恐ろしさを知っていて、もう今すぐに廃炉にしなければいけないと分かった人たちは、少しでも周りの人たちにそれを伝えていきましょう。やはり諦めてはいけないと思います。一人でも多くの人が立ち上がること。And then this is another thing that Japanese people are blaming America, which is really pressing Japanese preparing a nuclear plant. It is true, but also this is Japanese culture. I don't know, nationalistic culture that people, of course there were many people stood up against this America's big power, so that the people, individual people, have to support those people. From now on, people stand up to the America's power. Yes, we have to back up and we have to support these people. We cannot just blame America. We really have to stand and support people against this power. We really, one more person gradually still need to encourage people to stand up. That's the way we can change the policy of the nuclear plants in Japan and here, I think. Thank you.
Thank you. Shut the plants down.
Shut the plants down.
No more nukes.
No more nukes.
Shut the plants down.
Shut the plants down.
No more nukes.
No more nukes.
Shut the plants down.
Shut the plants down.
No more nukes.
No more nukes.
Shut the plants down.
Shut the plants down.
No more nukes.
No more nukes.
Shut the plants down.
Shut the plants down.
No more nukes.
No more nukes.
Shut the plants down.
Shut the plants down.
No more nukes.
No more nukes.
Shut the plants down.
Shut the plants down.
No more nukes.
No more nukes.
Shut the plants down.
Shut the plants down.
No more nukes.
No more nukes.
Now we're also we're going to have a poem read by Maureen. Also, people are traveling around the country. Cecile Pinata has been on a national tour in the Midwest, talking with people who are facing the situation of nuclear plants as well. And she will be speaking about her tour, what she learned about the situation in the rest of the country, because this is a national problem in the United States. So Maureen is going to read a poem.
Mothers of Japan, Fukushima activists, written on International Women's Day. They feel powerless mothers protesting radioactivity that is affecting their reproductivity by abnormal birth. They've had their fill of U.S. wealth, stretching of tentacles for Japanese nuclear energy industry. As mothers, they push to stop dangerous dumping of uranium waste in children's playgrounds.
Thank you, Maureen. So, Cecile, you want to talk about what's going on with the situation in other parts of the United States? Cecile Pinata is an author, has written about what the lessons are of Fukushima. Welcome.
Thank you. Today, I want to speak to everyone who loves this planet. I want to speak to my Japanese brothers and sisters, and I want to speak to all of us here who love this planet. And I want us all to think about the most precious thing that exists here on our earth. Whether for you it's a tree, or a flower, or a mountain, ocean, or just a wave of an ocean. This is what we must love, and this is what we must defend with our bodies, our hearts, and our blood. Thank you.
Shut the plants down. No nukes. Remember Fukushima. Shut the plants down. 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 So there are a number of other events that are taking place the rest of this month. On April the 27th, there's going to be a screening of Fukushima Never Again, and it's going to be at the Union Bank in Japantown. There are other events, and we are an education committee as well as an action committee. We have plans, and Cecile is also going to be speaking in the main library in Oakland on Thursday, April the 18th, 6 to 8 p.m. at Bradley C. Waters Community Room, 125 14th Street in Oakland. And she will be speaking about her work, her book, The Devil's Tango, which is about what the nuclear industry is and what it's done to Fukushima, what it's done to the world. So I want to thank you all.
Yes, thank you very much for coming here. And here's the one person who is every Friday. So I think that's enough. So what you wrote here again?
I'm here because I don't want the nuclear plants in Japan and all over the world. You know, this world need a nuclear plant? No. You know that the disaster of the Fukushima telling us we're not gonna get the more nuclear plants. We need to stop them. And that's why I'm here.
Thank you. So you wrote this time the petition, but anything else?
That's okay. But so really, right now, I'd like to ask to help the Fukushima children. That's a very, very important thing right now. We need to do immediately evacuate. Let them evacuate immediately.
Really, I think so too. So we're going to have another meeting this Friday next month, 11th here, exactly same spot, 3 p.m. Please do not forget, and please bring your friends too.
Thank you very much. Solidarity, shut the plants down. Remember Fukushima. Shut the plants down. Remember Fukushima. Shut the plants down. Remember Fukushima. Thank you, brothers and sisters.